Hi, welcome to the Focused and Fulfilled Busy Boss Mamas podcast with me, Crystal Borgeson, and my older sister,
Stephanie Mitchell.
Stephanie Mitchell.
Stephanie Mitchell. And this is our pilot episode of this podcast that we really aren't sure what we're getting into.
Yes, but we're super excited to be here. Super excited to share what we've learned as both of us are homeschooling mothers of 6 children each. And we are looking forward to just sharing with other moms what we've found to help us feel focused and fulfilled. We've thought about one of the biggest things with parenting that we've found is that like our kids accomplish stuff, but being a stay-at-home parent is hard. You don't feel like you're accomplishing anything. Your kids are learning all these wonderful things and you're teaching these wonderful things, but you're not the one absorbing it. You're not the one doing all that stuff. Like they had to take the effort to do it and absorb and learn your lessons, which is great and grand. But lots of us moms don't find any accomplishment for ourselves within that. We're like, yes, our kids did that. It's wonderful. But I have yet to do anything. I can't even keep the house clean. Yet I clean all day long.
Yes.
Your husband comes home and is like, and what did you do all day? And you're like, I've cleaned all day. Look in your drawer, of laundry. Or, if you're dusting or you decide you're going to clean out the kids' clothes for the season, which happens so much, especially when you've got more kids, the cleaning out of the clothes. And you're like, I spent 3 hours changing out the children's clothes for the season. And I dressed the baby 4 times.
4 times. Yes, you dress the baby 4 times. And here's the thing. So we both have a business from home. We work together. We homeschool the kids, like she said. And we are just, acknowledging the fact that as moms, whether you work outside the home, whether you're a stay-at-home mom, whether you're a work from home mom, whatever, we are all in this boat of doing the things every day. And oftentimes just like getting to the end of the day and not feeling fulfilled. Yes. And not feeling like we have purpose.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of things that we do, but we just thought it would be really fun to start a podcast where we can commiserate is not the right word, because it's not like a bitch fest, right? Of like, oh, how hard it is to be a mom. Like, no. We're kind of like a little bit of information nerds. And so we have done a lot of work to learn about how we can create better habits and work with our brain, because we always feel like we're like, gosh, like I'm trying to do better, but I swear no matter how hard I try, I just stay stuck in these same patterns and I can't seem to get anything done and whatever. And I feel like a failure all the time. And so we wanted to share our journey with other moms of how we can work with our brain to create better habits, be more productive, and work within our unique strengths to do that, to be better in our household, better moms, better spouses, better at everything.
Yes.
By learning more.
And be content and satisfied at the end of the day, whether you're a working mom who feels like she's not, you're working and you've been capped off in your job, but you'd really like to be home with your kids, but you need the money. And really you're scared to stay at home because you need something for yourself too. Like a lot of moms are like, I want to stay home with my kids. I love my kids. But I feel like if I get sucked in, I'm never going to get out and I will lose myself. And we're here to let you know you can find something outside of the household and to make you feel fulfilled, and or stuff you can do in the house but outside of like the rigamarole. And you have to get creative. You have to be willing to work hard, but it is possible. That's one of the reasons we do stuff like this, Steph. And Steph's like, she's at the stage where she spends hours driving around, being a freaking chauffeur, doing school, chauffeur, mom stuff all dang day. And I'm still at the point where I've still got like little ones here, and we are more in the house all the time. And it's like, it's just constant go, go, go in the house with the messes and stuff's driving around. So we have kind of like a broad,
Yeah, maybe we should say like, what ages your kids are. So Crystal is a military wife from Washington State, not from Washington State, living in Washington State, with 6 kids, ages 14 to 3.
11, 9, 7, 6, and 3. And
3.
5 of the 6 are exclusively homeschooled.
The only reason the other one isn't is because he's 3.
And we sing the ABCs and do story time. So they're all 6 homeschooled.
But it made it sound like one of them is in school, which is not the case. So she's homeschooling 5 kids.
He just wanders around making freaking messes all dang day and fighting with his siblings who are doing their schoolwork, or supposed to be doing their schoolwork.
Yes. So she's got a younger little crowd there with and I have a 3-year-old too, but my brood is a little bit older. So I have 5 boys and then 1 little sweet little girl. So my kids are 18. One's gonna be, he'll be 18 like 2 weeks. 18 in 2 weeks. And then one that will be 16 next month, and then 14, 11, 7, and 3. She'll be 4 in July. So in a month. So anyway, yeah, it's busy. So it's a little bit different dynamic with a little bit more chauffeuring and whatever, but yeah,
you're definitely more into the chauffeuring, and your schooling method is homeschooling, but you've got a little bit more blended in there because you got different opportunities, and your older kids, like the sometimes off at school a little bit for partial classes, and then special charter school, a couple of them go to a couple days a week. So you're doing lots of the chauffeuring stuff, which I think in some ways makes, like, for you chauffeuring moms out there and you moms who are working, I imagine it's the same, is you just feel like, okay, how am I going to find something for myself? I'm either A, driving in the car all day as the chauffeur mom and then doing little kid stuff at home, or B, I'm at work all day and then I come home and I'm doing chauffeuring and cooking and all this other stuff, and I have no time for anything that interests me. And when I do have 5 seconds that interests me, I'm going to watch TV on my phone while I lay in bed because I don't have anything left in me. And if I get out of bed, the kids are going to demand something of me.
Exactly. And I think as I don't know, I feel like we're inundated with social media perfection, and it's just exhausting and nauseating. And I hate that anyway. But I think a lot of moms just feel like, dang it, like they look at everybody else's life and think everybody else's life is perfect. And like, how do you do this? How do you do that? And I mean, I don't know, maybe our podcast isn't going to be life-changing, but maybe it will be. I mean,
you don't know.
We don't know.
But yeah, we don't know either. And on the note of like perfect Instagram life, then I think there's also this other group that's like the complete opposite. And they're like, my life's just a shit show and I can't get anything together and I'm not going to do anything. And it's like Steph said at the top of the show, is like a commiserating thing. And no, we don't want to be a commiserating thing, but we want to acknowledge where we're at now. And let's elevate ourselves to where we want to go and encourage ourselves and each other to go where we want to go. And we are really hoping that we can help you find a satisfaction and feeling focused and fulfilled.
Yes, because I think that's the thing, is feeling focused. Like, we don't feel focused because how many days do you wake up and you're like, okay, I'm for my coffee, and then you are like, I'm going to enjoy this hot cup of coffee. And then you set it down and then you're like, oh, I got to go brush a kid's teeth and then do something else. I'm like, oh, I need to run make that bed. And then you go back and you're like, oh, my
Change
freaking
the
coffee's cold.
laundry.
And you put it in the microwave and you take it out and you take a sip and then you're like, oh crap, like I gotta go switch that load or I gotta run a kid here. I do and you put the coffee down. By the end of the day, you walk by and you find the coffee on some rando table in your living room or
Yep.
somewhere you find it and they're like, oh, there's my cold cup of coffee that I've been trying to drink all freaking day long.
Yeah.
And what did I accomplish today? Wait a second. What did I do today? Because I swear I did not sit my tail on a couch all day long, or if you're a working mom, you're like gone all day and then you've got all this stuff to do at home and whatever. I mean, so I just feel like we all are trying to be the best versions of ourselves in life. And Crystal and I are always working really hard to try to figure out better systems in our life. And how can we, like I said, create better habits? And how can we do this? It's like solution based to the frustrations of motherhood, the frustrations of life. And since we have a business, like how can we dedicate time to our business? How can we grow? How can we do this? How can we do that? And so we're always looking for ways to improve. And if we are finding, as human beings, if we are finding things that help or learning things, I feel like we should be sharing with others to help them elevate too. And so we really want to be able to share tips and help other moms who feel like we do. We're creating a program that's almost ready to launch, a focused and fulfilled challenge to help moms to learn how to change their habits so that they can feel satisfaction at the end of the day. That's really what it's about. Like, how can you find satisfaction at the end of the day? And so we just thought a podcast would fit in well with that. We love talking about natural health. We're super into natural health. We are super into strengths and we want to share everything we learned about strengths to help people live authentically with the strengths that they've been given to be more productive and in whatever you're doing.
And when she says strengths, she's talking about like your unique talents as an individual and how you interact with those around you and in situations around you and what type of stuff really motivates you and to kind of help you pinpoint those things, because those are the things that are going to determine what kind of habits you fall into and your habit patterns. And that is where you find focus and fulfillment. And so we're just kind of really hoping to, and with our focus and fulfilled challenge, to really help somebody look at their life and analyze it and see, this is where I'm really struggling, maybe the driving around, maybe there's no time between here and those times, those places where you're like, I really can't find any time right here. It's impossible to really look at your day with an honest eye and to find those times and find what motivates you to make it your priority for yourself. We all find time for everybody else. The second your kid is sick or your husband lost the keys at 4 a.m. and needs to get to work, guess who's out of bed looking for those keys?
Right? So true.
The kids are sick at night.
Let me help you find your socks. Yeah.
They have a large project due. Guess who's up till midnight that night and still up at 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. for the sick kid?
Yeah.
Because
it's totally true.
But we need to find what motivates us to do that same thing for ourselves. And that's where we'll find satisfaction and contentment and to, be honest with yourself. How often are you on social media? How often do you find yourself sitting in the bathroom scrolling for 10, 15 minutes, 5 times a day, even though all you had to do was pee,
I don't do that. I don't do that. Shh.
Yeah, I know. I unfortunately, and I had a really interesting conversation with my friend she's an RN. She's working on her master's. She got a job, a part-time job, making $45 an hour. And her friend was like, oh, I would do anything to make $45 an hour. I would do anything. And mind you, my friend has 3 children. Her husband's also an Army husband. or not an Army husband. She's an Army spouse. Her husband's in the Army, and he's gone all the time. Her husbands have the same job. They're gone close to 6 months out of the year. So she's on her own with her kids all the time. She's working a job. She's going to full-time school, and she was figuring it out. And here's this lady saying, I can't find 45 minutes. She's a stay-at-home mom, and her kids are at school all day. And she said she would do anything for $45 an hour, but she spent all day on Instagram and Facebook while our kids are gone, and kind of sort of clean the house. Right. So if she were honest with herself, she could have been making $45 an hour. She just needed to go to nursing school, but she didn't. And so are you going to be honest with yourself? And we're going to be a little bit brutal here. What are you doing that you're wasting time at? You know, are you spending those few minutes? Are you, taking a nap in the afternoon? And if you are,
I actually do take a nap in the afternoon, and it's actually fine what you want to do with your time. It's just a matter of being honest about your time and saying, whenever you're saying yes to one thing, you're saying no to another. So,
and if you're taking a nap in the afternoon, sometimes Steph was taking a nap in the afternoon, and I'll let you know right now, Steph and her husband are two of the most hardworking people I've met in my entire life. My brother-in-law works nonstop hard amount of hours with his back's been broken for years. He's in immense pain. He is always working. And he'll do that, I'm sure, till the day he dies, just because he's always got this vision of what's going to happen in the future. And it drives him. He loves it. He's always going to do that. Steph's never going to have a husband that sits at home and plays video games or watches TV or sits on Facebook all day long. He's just not that way. And Steph's not that way. Steph's one of the hardest working women I've ever met. She's always going, and always puts a billion things on her plate. But that's another reason why we've tried to become focused and fulfilled. And I've spent lots of time, alone, moving to different places. So
yeah, you have a lot on your plate being alone most of the time. But I mean, I think what good is learning strategies to do better in life if you're not going to share them? And we both just really love building relationships with people. So when you have a lot of people that are saying, like, how do you do this? How do you do that? I don't know how you do that. Like, okay, well, let's share it.
Yes. And I get
let's share how we do it.
A lot. Yeah. All the time. All the time. How do you do it? I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you're going to do it. I don't know what you're doing. And we don't
really know how we're doing it, how we're going to do like this particular thing. We're like, hey, let's just start this thing. Let's just wing it. So we're going to do that. And we're going to trust that
we're like,
God will bring us to whoever he needs. And that's cool. And so we're hoping to do a podcast like once a week. And I don't know, they probably won't be too long, but we've got some cool things that we want to chat about. Obviously today, nothing in particular other than saying who we are and what we're about. And there was actually something that I was like, oh yeah, we should talk about that like on our second podcast episode. And I can't remember what it is. Maybe it was like perfectionism or something. I can't remember.
Well, maybe next time we'll be talking about perfectionism, but like
perfectionism is a big deal. I think most of us struggle with it to some extent or another. And I think
there are a lot of reasons why too.
A lot of reasons. There's a lot of reasons why. Yeah. A lot of reasons behind it. Not the same for every person, but anyway, so we hope that, we hope that we can help some people. And I apologize that this is so scattery. When you do an introduction, it's like we do good bouncing off of each other. So we're not like, let's have this outline script,
Yeah.
We don't got time for that.
But yeah, we really don't. We don't have time for that. And
we really don't.
This coming from my sister, who is a perfectionist.
I am not really a perfectionist.
You like things to be just right. She's if she could have it all perfectly, she has 5 boys.
I learned very quickly when I started having a lot of kids that ain't nothing going to be perfect in my life.
Yeah.
I mean,
but she does have the idea that she likes stuff very pretty and nice, and sometimes we just have to pull the trigger.
Sometimes we do. And I really don't think it comes from a place of perfectionism as much as it comes from a place of like, I need to know all my options.
Yeah.
I just need to know all my options and then I can choose the best one.
Yes. But like all thousands of options, not just 5.
Right. But see, with this strengths thing that we're learning about, we've been delving into strengths for the past year and learning so much. And I mean, we'll get into that a different day.
Yeah.
But that's one of my strengths is gathering input, and Crystal's too. And so I'm like, I got to gather all the information. I got to know it all. And so now I just have to learn, because I know this about myself. Like I have to learn, like, okay, yes, I need the information because that's what motivates me. Information motivates me to act and to do things. But if I don't keep it in check, I'll just gather and gather and gather and gather, and I have to have all the options. And then that's where it turns into perfectionism, right?
Yeah, that's a really good way to describe it. That's really good. And I love information too, but I like to gather a lot of information and solve problems. And so I gather enough information till I feel like the problem can be solved. Whereas Steph likes to gather information and think about it.
And think about it.
And think on it. And really, because she feels responsible for whatever outcome comes from that. And so she's got to have all the information in order to have the best solution, because otherwise she's going to be responsible for if it's a bad outcome.
Well, and we've been thinking about doing a podcast. I've been thinking about doing a podcast for a very, very long time.
Me too.
Yes.
But we did have to find time.
Yes, we did. We did. And my kids are in front of the TV right now, and it's past their bedtime. So we should probably get off.
There's a party tonight downstairs going on because I bet my husband fell asleep on the couch with the kids instead of putting them down, because now they're running and yelling.
Awesome. So we'll go take care of the kids.
Dad's asleep.
Right. A dad's asleep, party time, and mom's working.
Yes.
So we'll pop off, and then we'll talk about perfectionism on episode 2 of Focused and Fulfilled with the Busy Boss Mama. So take care, and we will talk to you next time.
See you later.